Happy Saturday, Vol Nation. This is Frank, House of Orange Sports Channel, coming at you. Tennessee Vols get a big senior day victory over South Carolina, 75-65. And I'm going to tell you why it's big right after, obviously, plug. Make sure you hit that like, that share. And if you like the content, you haven't not already, hit that subscribe button as well. 20 subs away from 3,000. That'd be a pretty big deal to hit. And hopefully we'll hit it here really soon along the way. But why is this big? Because number one, it clinches the double bye for Tennessee in the SEC tournament next weekend. And two, now we're all Auburn fans, because if Auburn, which right now they're down by 3 to Alabama, if Alabama can beat Auburn next weekend, or I'm sorry, if Auburn can beat Alabama today, Tennessee, via beating them head-to-head, would win the tiebreaker and be the 3 seed on the day. The other bit of thing that would help is if Ole Miss could beat Florida tonight as well. That would be a big help to Tennessee in their quest for a 1 seed. Now, just kind of a little rant. I wouldn't even say a rant here, but I had some people the other night. It's like, well, it's not that big of a deal that we lost the 1 seed. The 2's good, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you this right now. Here's why I was upset about it. And a lot of you don't get this, okay? A lot of people have been fans of Tennessee basketball from about the Bruce Pearl era on, maybe slightly before that. Like me, I go back my first recollection of Tennessee basketball and remembering them, really vaguely, or not even vaguely, really vividly, is the Don DeVoe era. You got the Don DeVoe era. Then you had the Wade Houston era. Good Lord. Horrific era of basketball. At least it did bring Allen Houston in. Then you had the Kevin O'Neal era, where it was rough to watch. It was rough to watch. If you thought the Conzo Martin era was rough, the Kevin O'Neal era was much more rough. But the thing of it was, Kevin O'Neal could recruit, and Kevin O'Neal started building a squad. Jerry Green took it over, and Jerry Green did okay. But I still maintain this right now. And some of you guys who remember the Jerry Green teams can agree or disagree with me on this. To me, the most talent Tennessee has ever had on one roster was during the Jerry Green era. Those teams are absolutely loaded, and they made it no further than a Sweet 16. If I'm not mistaken, he only made the Sweet 16 one time, and it was a year North Carolina was an 8 seed. They were playing well, and then all of a sudden the wheels fell off in the second half, and North Carolina beat them that year. They underachieved, and it went out. And Green made the tournament each year, but every year the loss was ugly in the tournament when it happened. Then you had Buzzball. There was always hype for the Buzzball era, and Buzz Peterson had some talent on this team. And Buzz Peterson, here's the thing with him. I think he had a good eye for talent. Obviously, found Chris Lofton, Jawan Smith along the way, and others that he provided. But then the Bruce Pearl era came, and I've tried to make peace with this with Bruce Pearl, that the guy did resurrect Tennessee basketball. We would probably not be where we're at today if not for Bruce Pearl. So I'm trying to get back to that point. I just hated the way the exit happened. I just felt like he took it for granted here. I think he realizes it too. Auburn is tied with Alabama now. But then you had the Conzo Martin era, which was rough. You had the 1 year of the Donnie Tyndall, and then everything just lucked out with Rick Barnes, him getting let go at Texas, him and Dave Hart having a relationship, and now the rest is history. So yeah, I am upset not getting a 1, because we've not had one. As a guy who's watched Tennessee basketball over 40 years, that means a lot. I want a 1 seed. I want a 1 seed. Doesn't mean I would rather have a Final Four over a 1. Don't get me wrong. But I want to see this program achieve all the highest things it can achieve. A 1 seed is a big deal. History, data, statistics show the 1 seeds make the Final Four more than the 2 seeds. You can go back and look at it all you want to on it. Yes, I want the 1 seed. I don't give a shit if I have to go play in Europe for that game. I want the 1 seed. It's still on the table, though. So, yeah, I was upset the other night. Yeah, I love this team. I love all these players, but I'm going to call it like I see it along the way. Now, today's game, it's always a good idea to let the game play out. I saw a lot of silly comments early in the game when the team, was not playing that well. South Carolina was hanging with them. Let the game finish out. Not here. This is on your typical places, your VolQuest message board, some on Twitter, people overreacting to it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was cause for concern, but I think we look at it more big picture, other than in the moment. It was a problem in the moment. We know with this team, they can be a bit Jekyll and Hyde at times. They can look really good, or they can look really rough at times. I think we're all aware of that at this point, but it's always good to let a game play out and then overreact. Did I overreact a little bit against Ole Miss? Maybe, but I was upset, and I just detailed the reasons why, because I want big things for this program. I've seen a lot in this program in my blessed years on this earth. For somebody to come in and tell me I'm overreacting, not a big deal over it. Yeah, you've not probably watched what I have of it, of basketball. So I don't need anybody to tell me how to be a fan along the way. I will tell you, I love everybody. Appreciate all the comments, all that. But there is a point I draw where I'm going to get upset. I'm going to get pissed along the way. When a 1 seed gets, it's still alive. Here's a good thing. Let's get off that. It's still alive here. We need Auburn to finish this out. That would give Tennessee the 3 seed. Then it potentially sets up a battle for the 1 seed with Tennessee against Florida next weekend. If Tennessee and Florida can both win on Friday. Florida has wrapped up the 2 seed in SEC tournament. It does not matter what happens against Ole Miss this evening. So to me, on it, it really comes down to, but here's the thing. We know with the SEC tournament, that committee, some years, they take it, they actually take it into consideration when doing seeding. There's other years they don't. So I'll be honest, nothing would surprise me next weekend. Let's say if Tennessee were to beat Florida in the SEC tournament, if everything works out, Auburn does have a 1-point lead. If Auburn hangs on, Tennessee gets the 3. They play Florida next weekend and beat them. Would the committee give Tennessee the 1 seed on it? I'd be really curious to see how that goes. There is a part of me wonders if they would try to sneak St. John's into that 1 seed, because St. John's beat Marquette today. If St. John's were to win the Big East title tournament next week, and then Tennessee, of course, lost to Ole Miss at Florida, then next week Tennessee beats them. Would the committee try to sneak St. John's in there? I don't know if they would or not. It should be Tennessee or Florida to me, because Auburn, Duke, Houston pretty much locked up, in my opinion. It comes down to that Tennessee, Florida for me. Unless, if Alabama does win here, though, that makes things a little more interesting. Auburn's up by 3. Now, getting to today's game, though, some good, some bad along the way. So looking at Chaz Lanier, I think a big reason Chaz got hot in the second half. If we look at the second half box score for Tennessee, Chaz went for 20 along the way. That's what I want to see from Chaz Lanier in the second half. I want to see a guy who's aggressive, who's doing his thing. Tennessee had, Milicic had 13, Gainey had 10. Cade Phillips had a big day today as well. He had 15, should have had 17. I don't know how he missed the oop late in the game. The way I'm telling you, if Cade Phillips can develop a shot, a mid-range shot, he's going to be he's a great athlete. He can finish at the rim. He can block shots. He can rebound. He's got to develop a shot, though. That's the biggest thing he needs, is to develop a shot. Here's the surprising number on the day. Zakai Ziegler, 1 point. But he had 8 assists on the day, only 1 turnover. And the other surprising one, Tennessee shot 9 out of 21 from the free throw line today, just below 43%. That, folks, is not going to get it done. Against a good team today, South Carolina is obviously the worst team in the league. Against a good team, that could have costed them the game today. Hopefully they clean that up. And it's like I said on the telecast coming into the day, they ranked 4th in the conference at 75% as a team. So, it's just one of the puzzling numbers of the day. That and the 1 point by Ziegler. Milicic, good to see him get 13 points, had 5 boards. Meshack, 5 points, 7 boards. Para didn't have a good day today, 5 points. He fouled out, only 1 rebound, 1 block in 17 minutes. Boswell got in, for 5 minutes. He had his patented 0 points on the day. Dubar got 11 minutes, had 4 points. I thought he did some good things when he was in. Gainey had 10. I mentioned Cade Phillips, 15. Those were big. And then you had Duncan, Hurst, and Paul, all walk-ons who got in late so they could pull out the seniors. Really happy to see those seniors go out with a win at home. From what I've read, the ceremonies for it was going on after the game. But here's something that's a little bittersweet about it. I wouldn't even say it's bittersweet. You hate to see these guys go along, especially, a Ziegler and a Meshack who's been here for 4 years. They've done so much for the program. They've exemplified the program in such good ways. But also, guys that come in like Gainey's been here a couple years, did a lot of good things. Lanier has done good things this year. No regard. Yeah, he's been a little inconsistent, but he's been good more than he's not along the way. And Milicic, had a rough ending against Ole Miss. Hopefully that builds him back along the way. And then, of course, you had Dubar. There's a lot of production leaving this team. It really puts it into perspective tonight as Lanier, Ziegler, Meshack, Gainey, Milicic, Dubar, all seniors, all gone after this year. Rick Barnes has got his work cut out building this roster back next year. Front line looks decent, but there is nothing for wings or point guards. And Boswell's going to have to show me a lot of improvement for me to believe he's going to be a big contributor in this program. And maybe he can. Guys develop under Barnes. I'm not writing him off, but I've got to see a whole lot more. You're going to have to hit the portal, and hopefully you can get Chance Mallory, recruit from Virginia. I think that Nate Ament, I think that recruitment's pretty much over based on what I'm looking at. And now I've heard this too before that he's commanding a lot of NIL money, and I don't think Tennessee's willing to go that route, especially when you're going to have to fill out so much of the roster. I really don't blame them. Not on a freshman, not the way Barnes is rough on these freshmen. And, can they handle it or not? Not all of them can. We've seen a lot of them transfer out over the last few years. You had former Miami commitment. Abel, I know it's spelled A-B-L-E. I'll be honest, I've not checked to see if that's how it's pronounced or not. So if I mispronounced that, I apologize. He's a big-time recruit. He was on campus last week for the Alabama game. Can they get that one? But I would imagine a lot of people are going to be in for him. You're going to have to hit the portal hard. And I'm going to kind of look around and see if I can come up with just some guys around the country I think would be good targets for this program. Guys that maybe they're not on NBA draft radars, but they're also guys. I think what you want if you're Tennessee's a 3-and-D guy. That's a popular term in the NBA, 3-and-D. That would fit Tennessee perfectly. They need shooting, and obviously you need a guy who can play defense. So I want to look around and see if I can find who some of the best 3-and-D guys are that could possibly, at a lower level school that could hit the portal and could make a big difference for Tennessee next year. But that's, something for another time. We've still got a lot of basketball left to play. We at least still got 2 weeks and hopefully more than that left in this season. But, good to see these guys go out with a win on senior day. And I'll be honest, in SEC play, sometimes these styles, South Carolina, we saw it last year. Now, South Carolina was a lot better last year. Their style of play gives Tennessee trouble, and it did today as well. But Tennessee, the bottom line is Tennessee was able to adjust and overcome. That's all that matters on it. Now, Auburn, Alabama tied with 2:25 remaining. We're all Auburn fans at this point. We need Auburn to win to get that 3 seed. That would put us with Florida and Kentucky. I would absolutely love to get Kentucky again. Could we lose to them? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I want them again, though. But we'll see. I'll have a baseball video later on tonight. Tennessee St. Bonaventure. I think it's 6 o'clock. They play tonight as well. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday. This is Frank, House of Orange Sports Channel. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you check out the link in the description for the channel memberships, for the channel Patreon. Those are great appreciations along the way. Or if you just want to say thanks, bottom right corner, those super thanks, all those are greatly appreciated as well. Have a great rest of your day. Frank Rock, House of Orange. Last but not least, go Vols.